What was your overall reflection of that year of prep?
You have to get up every single day in bodybuilding. You can't just be like today, oh no, I want to stay at home. I want to sit on the sofa. No, you have to go and do your cardio. You have to do your steps. You have to eat what's on your meal plan, and you can't have anything else. There's no room for feeling sorry for yourself, and there's no room for feeling bad. You just have to get up and do it. When I was younger, I never thought, oh, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I really didn't. I was just kind of sat in a bubble, and all the other girls, they'd know me as this really chatty, bubbly girl. They kept asking me, like, are you okay? I just wanted to be on my own and just sit there. And I just burst into tears. I don't know if it was because I was scared, or I was like, I'm here, I can't believe I got here. I did a lot of crying on that day. I felt like I was in survival mode. I couldn't think normally. I started getting into the gym really young, and I was enjoying it. So I just started out as probably like a few months in. I was loving it. I was training really hard, and then I lost my mum, and I felt like it was the only way I could cope, just to like training as if I was a bodybuilder. Everything you do in bodybuilding, like tracking your food, tracking your steps, all of that, that was the way I coped. I had to like control something.
Yeah.
It's hard that you do criticize yourself a lot.
Yeah. Self-sabotage.
Yeah. But now I know when I go back again, I'll be more confident.
Yeah. So you go back again. It's never in. We talked about this yesterday about growth and what was it? Growth and what was the other one we talked about? Growth.
Mindset?
It was on mindset, but it was growth. Two different types of mindset.
Oh, fixed and growth.
Yeah.
What are you? So fixed is you are very comfortable in doing one thing, but you don't feel like you have to learn anything else on the outside of it. Growth is that you're open to everything.
I'm definitely growth. I would love to learn things. I read a self-development book like once a month.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd say you're growth. Yeah.
Probably twice a month, maybe 2 books a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's all they meet up about, mate. So,
I think you can change it. I don't think I probably was fixed. I think you can definitely change it.
Yeah, it depends. I suppose it depends on like what you're aiming towards, isn't it? Because like, say for instance, like you're starting something, you might be growth at that time. But then when you actually start to learn it and embed it, you're like, oh, I need to be fixed a little bit to fix it, to get it straight, to get it there. And then again, once you feel comfortable again, you're like, oh, well, no, I need to grow it now. I need to learn some other bits of it.
I mean, this isn't the intro, but I'm
like
just interested. How did you change it?
How did I change it? Well, when we're talking about fix, I would say like with my moods. So if I was in a bad mood, I would kind of just stay in it. But now I'm very much like, no, you can do better. You can feel better. I don't know how I did it. I think it was through reading and just like experience. But I wouldn't put it down to something specific.
Do you read lots, Ryan? Is that something? Do you read lots?
No.
Honestly, you don't.
I actually don't know. I listen to podcasts. I listen rather than
I know you.
reading.
Yeah, you're quite big on the listening part, aren't you? Because you listen to like music and stuff.
I'm all right with reading, but I prefer to be doing something whilst I'm listening to information. So like I'm going on a walk or I'm at the gym or something. I don't like just sitting and reading. I like to be doing something and then listening as well.
Audiobooks.
Yes. I have listened to 1 or 2 audiobooks, to be fair, and I did enjoy them. But
See, when I was living in London, that was books. Because you go through the tube, you get no signal. So books were just the answer. So you're just like, because it's 45 minutes on the tube. You know, what am I doing for 45 minutes? No signal, no phone. And like a lot of the time, you're kind of cramped in, so everybody's sat together like this, you know, you can't move. And you're like, what am I doing exactly? So then in the end, I mean, I read Game of Thrones in like 2 weeks, something like that. That was because I was just on the tube every day.
Well, the whole thing?
45 minutes. Yeah, I've read the whole thing in like 2 weeks. Because it was just like, the story was like catching, so I was like, oh, let me read the next page. And every time I got because I was excited to get on the tube, to go home, just to read. So you can, but then I've come back here now, and I'm in the countryside with you guys, and it's like podcast. I don't really read as much. It's really bad. And I'm honestly, my partner's always like, read, and I'm just like,
It's valuable.
she reads sometimes, and I'm just like on my phone, which is really bad. I really should just pick up a book as well while she's reading next to me, but just scroll through my phone instead and chat with the lads.
What do you do before bed?
I'm
Go on your
out.
phone?
I'm out like a light.
You just go straight to sleep.
I can
you
just
get in
if
bed.
I'm in the bed, I'm gone. Like the top 3 things I do before I go to bed: drink a pint of water, mess around in the bathroom, get naked. Generally is about 20 minutes. No, I do. I like if I'm getting changed, I'm like because I get like I'm like a little kid. I get bursts of energy, just before I'm about to sleep.
Really?
I've like probably like that much energy left in the tank, and I'm like, oh, let me just use it real quick.
That's
And
so
then
funny.
I hit the pillow, I'm gone. That's literally it.
Oh wow, that's the best time to read, I think, before bed.
Is it? Yeah. I can't. I'm like a morning reader, I'd say.
Ah.
So I happily read first thing. Like if I'm on holiday and I've got a book, I will read by the pool first thing in the morning. Just how I am, I
nice.
guess. What about you?
I just don't at all. Sorry. Sorry.
You don't read at all?
No.
No,
no.
sorry.
Do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
Yeah. I'll probably listen to one episode a day, which is about an hour or so. So I like to get information by listening, but I don't like the time reading. I don't know. It's weird.
I was gonna say if you're thinking of ways to read or a place to read,
Instagram reels. That's all it is.
is that what you do? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bad habit.
It's bad, man. It gives you no information, man.
It's a really bad
bad.
habit.
Hey, at least you're honest. Some people don't even.
Yeah.
They're like, my screen time's 2 hours, when
Oh,
really it's
mine's
like
ridiculous.
9.
I don't even want to look at my screen time this week.
It's really negative for your attention span.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because it's
I'm
only
sure
2
for you.
seconds,
Yeah.
only 2-3 seconds of information. Sometimes, if that, Oh well, there's worse things you could be doing.
Yeah. Well, I think we don't need to do an intro now because I think we've pretty much done one.
Yeah, it's
But-
good.
Amy, thank you for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. We both really appreciate the support you've given us as well for the podcast. I think how many weeks has it been out now? 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
2 strong
just
weeks.
sharing it on Instagram and having kind words, we both really, really appreciate it. But I really wanted to get you on because I wanted to discuss about your experiences in the last year or two with everything you've been through and everything you've done. I think it's admirable with some of the looking back at how much you've achieved. And I know that from the mindset and the dedication to do something like that in terms of diet and the dedication to go to the gym twice a day and to the sacrifices you might have had to make throughout that year and different things like that. And even before wanting to go into bodybuilding, which we'll obviously talk about a lot more, but in terms of how you may have been beforehand and then going into that, it's just interesting to me. And I thought it would help a lot of people that maybe wanted to go into something like that, or have seen the likes of yourself or anyone that goes to our gym, because I know there's a couple, and wanted to maybe pursue it for themselves.
Is that your first show?
Yeah.
Your last show?
I'm not sure. I definitely do want to compete again.
Yeah.
But I want to get my health and my mindset right before I go into it again. But I feel like I need to come back and I want to win.
Come back in the season.
Yeah.
The redemption arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the word I was trying
Rocky
to think
theme
of.
tune
Yeah.
coming through Burbage. Sounds good.
So going back before you decided to go into it, what was your mindset back then compared to what it is now? And why did you want to start to go into bodybuilding? What was the inspiration behind that?
So my mindset, I probably definitely wasn't as strong as I am now. I wasn't very resilient.
Okay.
I find I'm very resilient now.
Why?
Because you have to get up every single day in bodybuilding. You can't just be like today, oh no, I want to stay at home. I want to sit on the sofa. No, you have to go and do your cardio. You have to do your steps. You have to eat what's on your meal plan and you can't have anything else. And there's no room for feeling sorry for yourself and there's no room for feeling bad. You just have to get up and do it. I found I used to meditate a lot before.
Nice.
Before I go to the gym, like in the morning, I'd wake up, I'd meditate, and I'd listen to just really happy songs. I needed to be in a good mindset before I went to the gym. I'd never used to do any of that stuff before bodybuilding, but you need to do it to cope, to get through. I wanted to do it for years, but there was a few people online that I always looked up to, and then one particular person in the gym Am I allowed to say the name?
If you want
Why
to,
not give her a shout? Why not?
So,
give her a
Kay.
shout out.
Yeah, to Kay. She goes to our gym. Well,
Yeah.
she works there. She's a PT and she's incredible. And she's massively into her bodybuilding. And I think as a younger girl, because I started going there when I was about 14, it was just, you just looked at it and you thought, wow, like I want to do that.
And who's like your gym inspiration?
So
Who's
I
like the
probably
one?
have two because it's really random. So you know Tammy Hembrau?
Yeah.
I always used to just think she was incredible. I loved that she was like a fit mum and like she has amazing glutes and she just looks incredible. But she wasn't a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But there's another person, she's an Australian athlete called Rachel Dillon and she competed in the WBFF and she's just insane.
Sick, yeah.
Big quads, amazing abs, glutes, everything. And I loved how sassy she was.
Is that just on stage when she's sassy or just like throughout life?
On stage.
Carry it, don't you?
So why, out of anything else you could have chose, it was bodybuilding? Was it because of the likes of growing up and seeing them, or was surely there was other things that you thought maybe I could do that as well, or was it just bodybuilding in your mind?
When I was younger, I never thought, oh, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I really didn't. I started getting into the gym really young and this bit's a bit hard for me to talk about.
It's okay, you don't have to if you don't want to.
No, I feel like it's like me, so
Okay.
I'm gonna go with it. And I was enjoying it. So I just started out as probably like a few months in. I was loving it. I was training really hard, and then I lost my mum, and I felt like it was the only way I could cope, just to like training as if I was a bodybuilder. I didn't kind of recognize it then, but everything you do in bodybuilding, like tracking your food, tracking your steps, all of that, that was the way I coped. I had to like control something.
Yeah.
So it kind of started off from a negative place,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
I was talking about this yesterday. I was saying like one big thing about the gym is that everybody is there for a purpose.
Yeah.
Everybody has a reason to be there. Mine was like because I'd come from a really rough background, a really rough lifestyle. I'd moved to a new place and I had to change the way I was.
Yeah.
And I felt the best way to do that is to put myself into something where I would see results. Sometimes you don't even see the results, to be honest. Sometimes like your first couple of weeks you won't see anything. But it felt like I had a purpose. And I think sometimes you have to like those little things that happen to you kind of guide you, you know. And it's good to hear you say like, you know, that's the starting point for you, because it can be, in terms of the gym, it can be quite negative in terms of lifestyle, like it can. So yeah,
It's interesting you say that, because I've found as well for my journey for the gym that it is trauma that spikes everything, that starts everything, and that's what stimulates the reaction of, okay, I need to get my shit in gear, or in order to cope you will have these different things you do. Like for me, it was go to the gym 6 times a week and just kill myself every single day to just say that if I can get over that, then if I can get over what I've gone through, then an hour at the gym doing that is nothing compared to it. So it's crazy that is, because we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we?
Just literally
Of
talking
how
about it yesterday.
and a lot of people would say to you that, oh, I wish that I had your motivation for the gym, when in reality, like, you don't wish you had my motivation. You wish that you had the motivation to go.
You don't have
but
the reason.
the underlying reason why you're going, you don't wish that upon anyone. And I think a lot of people, as you said, Kris, that people that go to the gym are there for a reason.
Yeah, they're for a purpose.
Exactly.
And as well, it's kind of crazy because for me, that's a big highlight in showing that is actually the way that people are at the gym. So you guys have met before at the gym. I've met Amy at the gym. We kind of met at the pub, but but through rugby, through sport, and through the gym again. So, and we've talked about the gym as well, training and stuff. So it's kind of crazy. Those people who are in the gym, who are in the same boat, they talk to you. They come up to you and they ask you questions if they're not sure, or vice versa. I know that we always talk about the question of like, if you were to ask somebody who is just starting out, what would you do? Well, it's kind of hard. I don't want you to go through what I went through to start out for why I'm here. However, if you are just starting out, just ask people questions and speak to people, because it is a really weird place, the gym. It seems really intimidating on the outside. When you walk in and you make it your home, it's not. It's completely relaxing. It's
and as
really,
we said
really
yesterday, that it's not enough for it to be a part of your routine. You need to make it a part of your life.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
In order to stick with it. And I found that when it was a part of my routine before any of this, I was so inconsistent with it, and it just wouldn't work. Whereas at that point when I thought, okay, I really need to get my shit together, that's when it just fell into place and again become a part of my life. The May 23rd, 2022 was the first day that you decided to jump into competition prep.
Do you remember the date?
Yeah, I do.
You do, yeah. That's good.
First check-in day as well. What was that like? The reality of everything settling in, that this is now happening.
Oh, I was excited. I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this. I never thought I would do it, but I was like, now I'm gonna do it. And the first check-in, that was a bit of a reality check because I looked at my physique and I wasn't happy. I'm not someone that goes, oh, I hate my physique, I look awful, but I was like, I've got some work to do.
How was the weekly check-ins?
How were
I
the
suppose it's daily, isn't it?
check-ins?
You do have daily check-ins.
We didn't actually have daily check-ins. It was just a weekly check-in, but I really enjoyed the weekly check-ins. It was like I could see a little improvement each week.
Yeah, and it's really weird because you in the mirror looking at yourself won't see those improvements.
Yeah.
Somebody else looking at you and analysing and looking at it. Because it sounds weird, but anyone going for a competition, if you think it's better to do it on your own, you're probably wrong. You probably need a coach, someone to guide you. And it's not necessarily those points. It's even if you know everything about the gym, there will reach a point where you're like, I need to kind of like reach for someone or guide me in that way. Because no matter how shredded you are, sometimes in your own head, you're like, I need to get more and more shredded. And those little tweaks and stuff that you are trying to change to do things, you won't notice them unless somebody else is kind of guiding you in that way. I guess that's what the coach is for, right? To give you that bit.
Sorry, Derek started. I've just got to say.
Oh, Derek.
Derek's
Every
my
pod.
automated Hoover.
Wow.
Electric vacuum. You'll meet Derek.
Does it come on at the same time?
6 o'clock every day.
Yes,
Yeah. He interrupts us every
Every
podcast.
pod, yeah.
It's so annoying.
I feel like we need to get Derek on the pod. Because he's got loads to talk about. He's going to tell you about all the trauma of vacuuming everyone's floors.
But in terms of the day one, I mean, for me, for example, I'm doing the carnivore diet this month, and for a month or so with last year, towards the tail end, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I was sort of building myself up for it. And although it was exciting, I was also quite nervous for it because I know how difficult it was going to be. Did you know how difficult prep was going to be going into it? I mean, you would have spoken to the likes of Kay probably and a couple of others about it, but did you quite realise how difficult it would be?
I did. I understood like it would be a difficult process and I would have to make a lot of sacrifices. I think the thing that got me was my energy towards the end of it. I couldn't even have a conversation with a friend.
Really? Oh, wow.
But I'm really grateful for the whole experience. I wouldn't change anything about doing that. Absolutely not.
But you learnt a lot.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
I actually mentioned this last night about you, actually, because I was saying, like, there were nights where I'd see you go in the gym in the morning,
Yeah.
and then in the middle of the day, I'd just go about my business, do my job, whatever. In the evening, I would see you, but you were just like a different person, hooded up. You're just in the zone, doing your cardio. And like, I think it was like 2 or 3 times, 4 times maybe where I spotted you for something when you're like, can you just get this for me? And like, you're just like, you're not really looking at me. You're just hollow.
Yeah.
It sounds really weird, but you're hollow at this point. Like, there was not much conversation. It was just like, spot me, do the job.
Yeah.
Go away, Kristen.
I
It was
used
good
to
though.
describe myself as a zombie. That's really bad, isn't
Yeah.
it? But I'd be walking around and there'd just be like nothing to me, like mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it can be quite challenging, can't it?
What about being coached? How was that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I had 2 coaches. So my first coach, Dan, he was incredible. I left him because I felt like I was on my own. So I do think competing is massively about community. And within his coaching, he didn't have any other girls that were competing, anyone that I could talk to. So I went to my posing coach, Lauren. She had a big group chat full of girls where we all chatted and interacted and talked about our experiences. So I loved that. I loved both of them. Lauren was incredible. I think you just have to listen to what they say.
Yeah.
It's them. all the way.
Yeah, usually with a big crowd of people and everybody's going through the same journey, everybody has tweaks and bits and pieces they can give you, like little bits of information. It might not just be like, it might not even be anything to do about the gym. It might just be like what you're eating, what you're consuming. I tried this tonight, I ate this, you know, it's a little bit lighter. So it just changes you, like, and also being in that group and everyone going, oh my God, it's like Wednesday and I'm knackered. And everybody's like, yep, like that, absolutely agree with that. It's like, could ask a lot of you, couldn't it? So
in our group chat, when it was getting to the end of it, it was called like the trenches or something like that, which is a bit extreme, isn't it? But they all called me the trench motivator because everyone would be feeling really rubbish and I'd be like, morning guys, have we all done our cardio? And they'd just be like, yeah, shut up baby.
it's because you're like first up and out, aren't you? You're normally like, so I know like we haven't kind of mentioned it really, but your step count, I know this because obviously we spoke, but like first thing in the morning I just see Amy walking like 20 dogs. That was a step count. Generally,
I
was a
remember
step
seeing
count.
your story actually when you posted it, the dog walking and stuff like that.
I mean, she still does it now. It still goes out with like 20 dogs, but like it's quite a big healthy part. I mean, I think if you're in your latter days of fitness and health or whatever, well, get out and walk the dogs, man. Get out and walk the dogs. That's the way to do it. Clears your head as well. It's great.
And how difficult was it learning posing?
Posing.
So going from not knowing anything to your first, so start with your first posing session.
I was struggling to even walk in them heels. They were so high. But I feel like after a few months, I just really got the hang of it. I loved it. It was probably like my favourite part of bodybuilding. I felt really just girly and strong, feminine, amazing. It was really empowering to pose. And my coach, she was great, so it really helped.
So take us through a daily routine of when you're on prep. So what did it look like? So it can be from day one, or it could be the middle, it could be the end, whichever you prefer.
Okay, we'll go towards the end. Okay. Let's take a Tuesday, for example.
Okay.
So I didn't get up that early. We'd probably get up about 7 o'clock, go straight to the gym to do my 30 minutes of cardio. Then I'd go to work for a few hours, and then I'd come home, eat, go back to the gym to pose and train, and then I'd go home, get ready, and then go back to work because I do split shifts, and then go home, sleep. It was just that rinse and repeat every single day. Gym, work, gym twice a day.
What's like one thing you missed then? So say like from before and after and in between. What was something that you had to really sacrifice to kind of go, this is going to make it, this is going to change everything? Because, you know, like some people, they live for the weekend.
Yeah.
My thing is food. Like when I'm on prep, I am crap because I'm like cheat meal. I'm going in, I'm having everything. And actually that's really bad because I struggle to get my way back on my path again. It takes me till like Tuesday. I may have had the cheat meal on Saturday and I'm like, weaning my way back on by Tuesday. So so what's the one thing for you? What's like one thing that you felt like you sacrificed or you had to really give up, you know?
So it wasn't actually the food, but more the social occasions around food. Things like my sister's birthday meal and my friends' birthdays. I couldn't go out for dinner with them, or if I did, I'd have to take meal prep, and that's not fun at all. So, and like Easter, I love Easter eggs.
Wait, what Easter egg do you have? What did you go for?
All of them.
Do you?
I did have a massive Reese's one after my car.
I'm a big shout at the Reese's.
Nice.
I like Kinder though. Kinder's going to be my vibe, I think.
Yeah.
Is it you Kinder as well?
I'm a Kinder guy.
So Easter eggs is the big one.
I liked, before I did go out quite a lot and socialise with my friends, like drinks and stuff. I've probably cut back on that a lot now since prep and realised that alcohol is not very good for you. But it was just being able to socialise. I did sometimes go out and have like lime and sodas, but then towards the end I couldn't hold a conversation, so I wasn't going out. I was sitting at home.
Like, so you're on prep, but then you had like a drink, but you just hit you too hard, sort of thing, or do you mean like?
No, like no alcohol, just like
Oh, but you were just too tired to be in the
Just too
situation.
tired to be in the situation.
I think that's
yeah. Oh, I had no alcohol.
See, I'm like this though. When on a night out, if I'm tired, so it sounds really weird. I could be on a night out, I could drink as much as I want, I could be in that particular. But if I'm tired, I need to go home. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm like, I need to go home now. I need to chill out because I can't. Like, I think the thing that always gets me with drinking is the lack of sleep or the lack of time. Like, I always feel like I'm more knackered. That might be my age, but but that's how I feel. But obviously, if you're on prep and you're dieting and you're restricting yourself, you're constantly working, and you're like, right, I'm going to be in this social bubble, but I can still be involved. And then you're like, oh, I'm actually just really tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. You know, did you feel like that was like in those situations that you didn't want to be in that social environment, or you just felt like really gutted, or you wish you could have just drank? And
I did want it. Once I was there, it was fine. It was more getting there.
yeah,
I found it really hard going and doing things with my boyfriend that weren't associated with food. He was like, let's go bowling, let's go cinema, let's just go on a walk. And I was just like, but I want to like have snacks at the cinema.
yeah. There's you with like what, raw carrot,
Yeah.
tuna.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But once I was there, I was okay. But it was like
Yeah.
the thought of it.
What's the first thing you did after? Oh, I don't know if we've got that question in there.
No, this is all later.
Is it all there?
later on, Kris?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I need to read the structure. I need to read the brief before I jump in. I get all excited. Sorry.
No, it's all good, man.
Go on, go for it.
So on the topic of how strict you had to be and the sacrifices you had to make, you mentioned a couple there, but what were some of the main ones other than, like I said, taking snacks to the cinema or different things like that? What were the main ones for you?
In terms of like food, no alcohol, no chocolate, no carby, no junk, nothing like that. It was very much like chicken, broccoli, rice. It wasn't any fun. Sacrifices. Other than that, I stayed quite normal in my daily life. I still went to work. I still did everything I'd normally do if I wasn't. I think that's what you have to do. You have to try and keep your life as normal as possible so you don't hate it.
Yeah.
How was it giving up alcohol and chocolate and sweets?
Alcohol was fine. It didn't bother me. Chocolate. I comfort eat sometimes or emotionally eat. That's something I'm
So how does that look for you? Because like I'm going to cinema tonight. I'm going to comfort eat.
Yeah.
So that's like my vibe. If I'm at the cinema, like in that 2 hour, that's my comfort. And it's really bad because I'm just sat there and I just don't even think about it. Like if I'm eating a chocolate bar like just normal, I can just put it down for a bit. I don't have to finish the whole thing. But if I'm in the cinema, I finish the whole bar, which is really, really bad.
Yeah.
So like what's the thing, like where's your comfort lie, I guess?
This is very common and something I am working on, but if I feel a little bit stressed or a little bit upset, I will just go and raid the chocolate cupboard.
You got a chocolate cupboard?
Yeah, it's like a cupboard full of biscuits and chocolate and stuff, yeah. And I would just raid it. And it is not good for you. And it doesn't make you feel any better in the end. No. But I just wanted to comfort eat sometimes, and I was like, I can't, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's never a bad thing.
So how strict did you have to be to give the people a view of exactly what it is and how strict the diet was? I know you say giving up alcohol, giving up chocolate, sweets, snacks, but is it just very plain foods every single day, or
did you actually feel comfortable with the diet?
Yeah.
You just like, it becomes normal to you what you have to eat. When it comes to diet, so I started off my calories quite high. I didn't follow a meal plan until I was 4 weeks out. I did it myself. So the start, my first week I was on 2,000 calories. I was like, great. And then the second week it dropped to 1,700 and then lower and lower. Yeah. My protein was quite high though. This is something I struggled with. I had to be eating something like 180 grams of protein with 1,500 calories. So it's chicken, whey protein, a couple of rice cakes if I'm lucky. Not fun. Yeah.
Sounds fun. Not really.
Protein's the hardest thing to get in, I find. I'm on doing that carnivore diet, and there's only so much eggs and beef and mince you can eat before you just feel awful. I think yesterday, for example, I had about 1,000 calories left in the day, and I'd cooked beef mince and eggs, and I just could not stomach it anymore.
Yeah.
I think I had the eggs, but then I was trying to eat the beef, but I was just I can't do it. There's only so much you can do.
So you coming off your calories then? Sorry.
That's okay.
So you're not consuming your calories then? So like, say for instance, when you've had the beef and the egg.
Oh no, that's just me. That was just me yesterday.
Yeah, just put it. Yeah, but do you just think like, I'm not going to eat any more of this and I'll come back to it later, or do you just carry on eating?
Yeah, I'll most likely. It depends what time it is. It's quite late yesterday, so I just left it. But if I cook it and I need to eat it, I'll eat it later. I'll come back to it if I'm really full. But with protein, you're full for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So if I'm eating a massive portion of whatever, if it's a massive steak in the morning, I can go almost the whole day without eating again. It's really odd. Yeah. But you've just got to force it down you, and it's
not ideal.
No.
That is one thing I never said when I was on prep. Not once I didn't say I was hungry, because the food I was eating, it was good. It was like raw and healthy, so it filled you up a lot.
Whole foods.
Yeah, whole foods. That's what I was looking for. But I know what you mean, because at one point it was like the last week of prep and I couldn't eat chicken. It was making me feel sick really bad. So I said to my coach, I was like, I can't do this anymore. She was like, have a chicken sausage instead. So I was like, okay. But it did work. It was like something different texture. So, but now I've seen it online and they call it the chicken egg, but it makes sense.
Chicken egg. There's an egg for everything now, isn't
there?
What is the chicken egg? Explain to me.
Where you've had so much of it and you can't look at it anymore.
So like I went vegetarian, partly because my partner, hold my hands up and say that's part of the reason, but also the second part of it was because I was working in the smokehouse. I was eating brisket, beef rib, you name it, all different kinds of meats that were coming in from America. But the one meat that I'd say I was constantly consuming was chicken. And I would have like fried chicken, I'd have grilled chicken, and actually to the point that I actually come off of fried chicken, preferred grilled chicken, then got sick of eating grilled chicken completely. So that's probably what I had. I probably had the chicken egg. I just didn't know it even existed. But like generally I was like, I'm quite happy to go vegetarian, to be honest. It doesn't bother me at all.
No. There's like 4 or 5 different ways you can cook eggs, and each one of them disgusts me at this point. It's just every single day it's like 6, 7, 8 eggs, and it's just because you can't have sauce.
Do you not do like an omelette? Because omelette's like so king.
You can have cheese, luckily, with the one I'm on, which is okay. And it just.
I ask you a question?
Go for it.
What made you want to do this diet that you're doing now?
I think it was more mindset for me to know that I can do something and stick with it. Because before I'd never been like that. I think I'm in a position now mentally that I can stick with something for a lot longer. So I've always been the fat kid at school, and I've told you this story as well. I've always been the fat kid at school, and you get a bit of shit from it when you're younger and whatever. So it's always been a case of I just want a 6-pack once in my life, or I just want to get to a point where I can look in the mirror or a picture with my top off and go, I look good. So the goal is to cut carbs out completely, which is what I've done from the 1st of January to the 31st of January, and just see where I am at the end of the month and go from there. And
go on, Ellie. Say what you say. Go on, say it.
I don't necessarily agree with them sorts of diets. If they work for you, great. But I struggle to see how you can go long term with cutting carbs out and just being on this very simple and not enjoying it. In bodybuilding it's slightly different because you have to, but you don't have to do that to look the way you want to look. No. I think, do you ever feel like you're missing out?
It's weird because at the start I thought I would really struggle, but because I'm also not drinking anything other than water as well for the whole month, so there's no fizzy drinks. I can have like a black coffee, which is fine, I do anyway, but I think it was something where I thought, I don't feel good, I need to try and do something. I could go on a lowish carb diet as she would, and I have a coach and go from that, which I'm doing currently, but luckily he's decided to let me do my own thing for January. But I think it was just a mental thing for me to know that I can stick with something and do
And
it,
achieve it,
and
yeah.
then and
Yeah.
achieve
we had
it.
that discussion.
Even if it is very difficult, and just cutting all the pastas, all the potatoes, the donuts, everything like that. It has been tough, and I see when I go out for friends, and so tomorrow I'm going for a curry with some friends, but I can only have the dry meat and that's it. So no sauces, nothing like that. So it's definitely tough and it's challenging, but I think it's good to give yourself a challenge every so often. Because,
for sure.
because if you
Yeah,
come
some people find lost without goals. If you don't have
Yeah.
a goal. But one thing I've said to myself this year is that I'm not giving myself a goal. It's really
No
weird.
goal? Really?
No goal at all. Like literally, there's none.
Why?
My goal is to, I mean, it's not a goal. It's just like to change the way I'm living. I've been gymming for years. I've been in the gym 4 years. I've been eating meat 4 years, and then I've basically given myself 2 months to say, mentally, what is it you're trying to achieve? What is your next goal going to be? And I've said to myself, no goal. So for this year, for 2024, stop setting such wide goals, such high goals, and actually go for small wins. And basically, I'm going to do a mini cut at some point. I will do eventually. And I want to kind of shred down a little bit, but I have to take myself seriously. And before I can do that, these conversations with myself have to happen before I set the goal. And that's what I'm currently working on it myself. So I'm working on myself at the moment.
You need to know you can do it as well.
Yeah, just need to
Because-
do it.
because
I know I've got the ability to do it because I've done stuff
Yeah.
like this before. It's just a case of going. It's basically like resetting, just resetting everything all over again, like resetting the way I work. One thing I said to so everybody said, "Oh, what's your 2024? New Year's resolution? That whole thing that everybody says, New Year, new me." My thing wasn't the New Year, new me thing. Mine was just like to be more organised and planned. And I said to people, like, not organised in the sense of, oh, let me put my washing away and things like that. I'm already like that. It's more the case of like, organise my mind, organise my well-being, organise my health. Like, I start doing supplements. 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, 2 months in, I've got a great physique. I look great. Ends. It ends because of it's not the same as like when you I don't have a goal at the end of the supplements. What is the goal at the end of the supplements? I don't know. Just taking them because I enjoy gymming, and actually if I give myself a goal, I'll be able to do it. I haven't quite decided what that goal is yet, but I know I need to organise myself. So before I just push the boundaries and do so much and try and achieve so much, I need to actually just reset the bar, just come back to reality and start again.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will set a goal and wait for the day, like you did with prep, for example. You were very excited for it, but then when you got to the day, people go, "Oh no, I've got things to do. I'm going to do it the next day, or I'm going to push it back." Or they set goals that they don't stick with. And I knew for a fact that I can do it, and that my mindset's changed to the point where I know that I can do something. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get to the day, the 1st of January. When it hit, I was like, shit, this is the day where I've just got to eat nothing but meat for the whole month. And I thought, okay. But
31st, you were like,
drinking,
wasted it on your own.
Yeah.
What's up? Come on.
But it's very similar to what you said about cutting alcohol out, cutting all of that chocolate sweets. It was a bit of a reality check at the start, but I feel so good.
Yeah.
I feel really, really good.
Is it because you feel good because of what you're consuming, or is it because you feel good because of what you're achieving?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
So-
I don't bloat anymore. I don't have gas anymore, literally anymore. I don't feel like, I'm not being hungover anymore. I don't have headaches anymore. I think some carbs are good, and I think when I'm off this diet, I will introduce them back slowly, but I'm not going to introduce them to the level that they were. And I think this, in terms of alcohol consumption, and as you said, sugar and sweeteners in different sugar-free drinks, they really do make you feel a bit shit. And just cutting them all out cold turkey has just been great.
Well, me and Amy will have you know that chocolate is a very good feel factor, actually. Chocolate can make you feel very good, thank you, in the gym.
Well, I'll be going on a binge on February 1st, and then don't worry, and then after that I'm going to go back. I've got to do it.
No. That's what I did after my comp. I did.
Right. Was it not good?
But it doesn't make you feel good. That's something I'm reading a book he's called Alan Carr, and it's how to the easy way to stop emotional eating. I've only just started it, but I think that will really help. A lot of people turn to binge eating. So like I was saying, I admire you so much for this diet that you're doing, but I don't think it's sustainable to cut out carbs completely. But I get your reason. You want to prove to yourself that you can do it. But then you going on a big binge after,
Don't worry about hurting his feelings.
Oh,
It
hit
could almost like reverse some of
Yeah.
the progress you've made.
Yeah.
It could make you want to carry on the binge restrict cycle, which is really common in the fitness industry. And we've all been there. Back in the day, I'm only 21, but when I was 16, I did the keto diet, where it was meats and fats and no carbs.
How many times do you hear about people reversing on that? It's crazy.
But it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's not sustainable. No.
Yes.
I know somebody who lost like 3-4 stone, but now they're 5 stone, 6 stone heavy. And they always talk about, well, I wish I could go back to that. Just doesn't work, man. It just reverses you.
It's very good for losing weight fast.
Yeah.
But after that, when you do pile the carbs back on, it's very easy for you to put the weight back on after.
Yeah.
And again, you feel like you've gone through all of that, and then you just, I'm back to where I was now. So I think if you've lost the weight and you've almost become accustomed with not eating carbs or not going high carbs, and if I was to go out and I don't have to order the pasta, which I do love, but and then you can just slowly add them back in, and I think that's probably the way that
I come from, in my family. I come from like a military background from my step granddad and from my actual uncle as well, and bits and pieces like that. So basically, everything that I've been taught, and even my uncle that I live with now, he always teaches me everything in moderation. It's literally it. If you're going to bring your carbs back, do it in moderation. If you're going to smoke, do it in moderation. What you find is people excessively do these things, and that's where it goes really bad. That's where it really, really goes bad. I will openly admit I excessively love a Kinder Bueno. Excessively. I'll openly admit it. But you know what? I think if I did it in moderation, I'd feel better, and I'd enjoy it more if I had like 4 days and didn't have one, or I say it like as if I'm addicted, like I have one every day. But like if I go 2 months and I don't have one and then I pick one up again and I try it, it's probably more rewarding than if I eat it every day, because it just becomes so mundane. So yeah, everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. Absolutely.
Instead of the 15 Krispy Kremes I was going to have, I'll have 10 now then.
10's good, mate. 10's good.
Even number.
So what are you going to do with the other ones? Because I'll come around.
I'll have to give it to you, the one, Chris.
I'll help you finish those, don't worry. The next pod.
So I think we've covered this a little bit in sections in the previous questions, but I did want to make a section around it, because I know from having a conversation with you a couple of weeks ago when we were sat outside in the pub, that some of you, the way that you were towards the end of your prep, you said your words, you were a bit of a what you said.
Did I say that?
Well, I hope you did.
Do you think you were?
Yeah. Massively.
But I wanted to know how you were towards, or how your other family members and friends and boyfriend thought of you at that time.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think they thought I was a particularly amazing person to be around. I think bodybuilding is a very selfish sport. There was times where I would be quite snappy with my boyfriend. I wasn't the fun Amy that my friends knew, and if I walked into my house after the gym, my parents would know not to talk to me until I've had my meal. I wasn't the best person. That was probably in the last 4 weeks. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard, Kris Bumstead?
Yeah, Kris Bumstead, hold tight.
He doesn't live in his house for the last bit of his prep, I think.
It's probably a good thing, yeah.
No, he doesn't. He I think he lives near where the competition happens. He lives in like a little...
Yeah, I know a guy called TM Cycles, and basically, he's cycles for the reason of steroids, but what he does is he goes to what's it called now? It might be Playa de Bossa, but he goes to Spain just 2 weeks before, and nothing changes. He just picks up, but he says he craves a couple of things, so like sunlight, space from people, decision making that he has to make on his own, and also like not to go to work for 2 weeks. So like if he does a prep, like I think it's like 2-3 weeks before the show, he has 2 weeks away, just himself, prep meals, everything. He takes everything, packs everything, he goes to the local supermarket, picks up loads of stuff. It's pretty good on YouTube as well, check him out. But he just has to get away because he has to reset the batteries and stuff to he knows the finish line's close. So
Did you feel like that?
Yeah. Once you've done the gym and been to work, there's nothing left in your tank.
No.
Not for anyone else. It's you on your own. It can be quite lonely.
Did you ever feel alone? Or?
I never felt alone.
That's good.
But
Good.
I felt like people couldn't relate to me,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So it wasn't lonely,
Yeah.
but no one understood. And I used to get quite frustrated when people would ask me questions like, why can't you eat that? Why can't you do that?
Yeah.
Because they don't understand. It's for this goal.
I think a lot of the time when we spoke, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's literally what I said to you most of the time.
Yeah.
I think, like, it's okay. Because I got a couple of friends who've done it, but a lot of the time I could see how hard you were working. I could see how much it meant to you, and I knew what it would mean to you just to cross the line. So I was just literally saying to you, like, it's okay. Like, there was times when we were doing sets, you were like, I can't get one more out. I'm like, get one more. You got one more. You're like, I want to get one more, Kristen. I'm like, okay, let's go one more then. You go one more and then you don't get it. You're like really annoyed, and I'm like, it's okay. Like, mate, honestly, it's okay. You know, after the prep and you've like smashed a burger, you'll hit like 6 of those. That'll be nothing. So, you know, it asks a lot.
But it's okay for people to not understand though. But it's
Yeah.
it's when people are persistently asking the same question of
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you can't do it is, and when you've told them, that's what I found. That's the most irritating part for me.
Yeah. I was quite lucky that everyone was very nice and supportive, even though they didn't understand.
Yeah.
So I never struggled in that area. If you were to ask my family and my partner, they probably wouldn't want me to do it again.
No.
They'd support me through it.
Do you want to do it again?
This is for the end, Kris.
Sorry. I was thinking like, I wonder who's watching this. Is your mum and dad going to watch this?
It's a mystery till the end.
Yeah, this is it. Sorry, go on. I'm so keen, and I get so excited. I need to start reading the brief. It's really bad. I'm on the same page. That's right.
But they would support me again. And
Yeah.
I think that's crucial to have supportive people around you when
Definitely.
you're doing it.
Without detailing competition day just yet,
It's looking right.
what was your overall reflection of that year of prep? So from day one to the night before competition, what did you learn throughout that? Do one major thing that you learned.
How strong I am to go through the whole process. And I think when I competed and the day after, I was like, I'm never doing this ever again. It was awful because I was really disappointed. I didn't place, and I put that on my social media. But then after a bit of reflection, or when I first was asked what I wanted to achieve from this, it was just to stand on stage, just to get to that stage and do it. And I did it, and that's what I did.
Achieved. Tick the box.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
And there were times where I did want to quit, but I didn't. So I'm really proud. I think my strength, definitely.
And how far you can push yourself. As
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
Should think so, mate. My voice was gone. I like shouting at you, and they sound like, "Come on!" It's like, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm pretty loud anyway most of the time. But I was so proud to see you do it, like to do the thing you did, because I'd seen you on those dark nights.
Yeah.
You know? So I'd seen what you'd put through, and even to the point where you changed gyms as well, and you were like flicking it about. You were just like, I need to give myself a new environment. Like you did everything you could. So I if you don't think that you placed that day, for me, you placed that day.
Oh,
you came
thank
first.
you.
So yeah, I think it's wicked, man. I think it's wicked what you did.
I think the most powerful thing about that is that you didn't know what you were going to expect. So from day one, you had absolutely no idea how difficult it was going to be. You knew it would be hard, but you don't know how difficult it is until you actually do it. And I think that's the interesting part, is that you had the tunnel vision to just get your head down and just do it all the way to the end. And as you said, you were almost like a zombie, but it was just a routine of, I've got to get my steps in, I've got to go to work, I've got to come do a gym and pose, then I've got to do this and do that in the evening. And it was just that every single day relentlessly. And all credit to you, Amy, because I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. And I think you should be really proud of yourself for doing that as well. But now it's Kris's section of the podcast.
Fun part now. This is
Now it's the fun part.
sorry, no, not that
So
you're part.
this is just a quick fire round of just some random questions, quite quirky questions.
Okay, so cool. My questions are kind of a little bit different, kind of just more about you and where you're at now and what you're doing now, and I'll just read them off and just go for it. So, what is something that makes you feel instantly better when you're having a bad day?
Going to the gym.
Yes, it.
Moving my body, exercising, not even going to the gym, walking, anything, to even dancing. Sometimes I'll go downstairs and just dance in the living room with my
Sick.
dogs, and it just brings your energy up.
Good, that's good. You've just won £1 million, but you only have one day to spend it.
One day.
What are you doing in that day?
Should be. I think it should be about the people you're
You
with.
could give it away.
Yeah, you
Give
can
it
give it
away.
away.
Sounds good. Who's your longest serving friendship, and what do you like most about them?
Oh.
And that's open to the room. These questions are all open to the room. So
Okay. My longest friendship is with your partner, actually. She's my bestie. We've been friends since year 7 at school. But we meet every week religiously and we just put the world to rights. We talk about everything that's going on in our lives, how we're feeling that week, our mindset. I think it's just understanding each other and accepting each other. That's massive for a friendship. What about you?
My longest serving and best friend is someone called Jake. I think
he was calling a minute ago, wasn't he?
He was, bad timing. Yeah. It's I think we've known each other since he's a year younger than me, so I think I was 3, he was 2, and he lived. We're all on the same estate, so he lived on the house on the end, and they're all like playing. He's got 2 sisters and stuff, and I remember it where they're all playing, and I really wanted to go play with them, and I had this tractor, and I was like, oh God, I really want to go. Mum, can you go ask the parents if I can go over? I was only 3 at the time, and then from that point onwards, we just became best friends, and we've been friends ever since. But it's for me, it's the friends that you can not talk to for years, but then pick up exactly where you left off.
Yeah.
We were the best friends, and that's what I found.
What has been a nerve-wracking experience for you, and how did you accomplish it?
I think the most nerve-wracking experience was being on stage. I don't want to keep talking about it, but it was. They were like, right, you're next, go on. And I was shaking. I struggled to walk. I'd done all this posing, and then walking, I was like, I am shaking, to the point where when I was on stage, I went the wrong direction. Do you remember that?
I can't remember that.
I walked the wrong direction, and they were like, Amy, it's this way. And I was like, oh. But
See, that's crazy because from our perspective, wouldn't have a clue.
No.
Wouldn't know.
I got off stage and I cried after that. But
Oh, yeah,
so that
yeah,
was how
yeah,
I
I did,
coped
yeah.
with it. But then
That's how you accomplished it. Yeah. I've coped with it by crying. Thanks.
but now I know when I go back again, I'll be more confident.
Yeah. So you go back again.
Ooh.
It's never in. It's never in. What song from your childhood hits hard?
It's hard.
Yeah. What's like a song from your childhood that hits hard?
Oh, Chris, you've got
Like-
me here as well.
You go first.
I'll go first. Oh my god.
You've got me here as well.
Have I got you?
Yeah, you've proper got me here.
I'd probably go Michael Jackson Thriller. So I really like one day. I don't know. Whether Michael Jackson Thriller, I don't know. My childhood's a little bit different from yours, guys. I'm a little bit older. Right?
I really don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know.
Is there not a song back in the day that really got to you? Like you were like, this is a tune.
Can it be just ones that like you've grown up with?
Yeah, I'll see.
Okay. My dad's massive into Metallica.
Okay, cool.
And he'd always play it like on the way back from football or something like that. So there's a song called Blackened.
Yeah.
I always listen to it at the gym as well. It's like a go-to gym song. So that's probably my one.
Is that where all your all your PBs come in?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
200 kg bench press.
Everyone has a PB song. Do you have a PB song?
I do have a PB song, yeah.
What's your PB song?
Mine is Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, which is like
my
an
God.
old school. Yeah, I don't know why.
That's major.
Because the start of it's like and I'm just like waiting, and it's just like rah. And to be honest, I love rock music, great,
Yeah.
love it and all that stuff. And when I'm at the gym, I don't really tend to listen to rock music. But if I need to get a PB
Yeah.
and I'm in the zone, that is my song. Because as soon as it goes rah,
yeah.
I'm like right, back on the bench, let's go.
If
Yeah.
I'm deadlifting, it's rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to be.
What's yours?
My PR song is Can You Feel My Heart by Bring Me the Horizon.
Is it really? Yeah. Metalheads.
Yeah. I don't even listen to that sort of music
No,
ever.
but it's a different kind of
yeah.
training, isn't it? It's a different style of training.
Get yourself into the zone.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you wish you were better at? What's one thing you wish you could be better at?
It's really silly, but dancing. All my friends are dancers and they are incredible and they're really flexible and they can all do the splits and it's really silly, but I'd love to be able to do that. And we've been going to Zumba classes and I've got no coordination. I love when I go out to the clubs or something, I love to dance. Like, it makes me feel alive, but I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely dancing.
Dancer. Get some lessons in the
Yeah.
year. Absolutely. Right?
Singing. I'd love to be a singer. Oh my God.
Okay, what genre?
I don't know.
What would your singing name be?
I just think a singer's got the best job in the world.
Do you think like in a band, or would you be like
No,
solo?
just I don't know, like just a singer.
Like Justin
They've
Timberlake.
got the best job in the world. Like, imagine headlining Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Just stuff like
yeah,
that.
but as a solo artist,
And
that's
just
a lot of pressure.
I know, but and then just like singing and making money off that and like touring and stuff. It's a lot, but like it's just mad, isn't it?
It's actually crazy when you think about like they actually have no life. So they go on this massive tour. They like put the tour dates out like back to back dates.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
And they, in between it, they probably do like a set on. They have to practice as well, right?
Yeah.
So they'll do like, I don't know, Saturday they're doing a performance in Birmingham. Then like Monday they're doing one in London. But on Sunday they're in London doing the practice round. Like, when do you sleep and when do you eat? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, not even just be professional, but even just be as good as Coxie.
Oh, Cox is
He's
sick.
so
Yeah,
good,
he's a
isn't
good singer. Yeah, he's a good singer. If he's listening to this, he's going to literally love it.
What's yours?
I have this weird thing where it's when people ask me a question, say, "What's your strength? What's your weakness?" My strength is passionate, and my weakness is passionate. But I wish I could be more. I need to be like more stricter with not necessarily myself, with other people, with other things that I do. I need to be like, that's no go. That bothers me. That's not cool. So and that's something that I don't really do. I kind of go, that's not cool, but I'll let you off, and that's really
I
annoying.
see,
so
okay.
I don't really know how to put it. It's kind of
I know
weird,
what
but
you
I wish I could
be
like
more stern with people.
yeah, but I'm just
Boundaries.
I'm not very good at setting boundaries.
Yeah,
maybe that's
I agree
the
with
thing. Yeah.
boundaries.
That
Sorry, I just
concludes
like that.
Chris's quick fire round.
Chris's fire round. Needs to get a gun, don't I?
So, April 23rd, 2023, a week before the big day.
Yeah.
What are the thoughts? A week out. All of that hard work is pretty much done. You've just got the final week. How is that looking?
I was excited and I was ready to just go and do it. The last week was probably the best week. It was the hardest week because your plan changes. You're doing water loading, more cardio, but you know the end's in sight. So the days leading up, I was like, I want to do better this day. I want to burn more. This is going to sound crazy. I want to burn more calories than I did yesterday on the cross trainer.
Yeah, set goals. Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah.
What's the most calories you burnt?
thrived.
Did you ever count it? Did you ever put that?
No, I don't know. I think a big one was probably like 600. It was in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was hard work.
Did you ever feel like cheating on the last week?
No.
No?
It was too close. The hardest time for me was when I was probably about 10 to 8 weeks out because the goal was too far away to be in sight, but I'd come too far to quit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah.
But the last couple of weeks, I thrived.
But how did you feel about everything you'd achieved in the past? So you were on the last week,
Yeah.
and the last 9 months or so that you were doing it, you'd look back and think how difficult that was. Was it sort of a relief in a sense, or say that you've looked back and say that I've done that, or?
Yeah, it was definitely a relief, for sure. I think, though, any time in the process, you don't have that much time to think. So you just do. That's one of my things. You just do it. Don't think, just do it when it comes to bodybuilding. Because if you think for too long, you might lose the end.
You can procrastinate on it.
Yeah,
you can
that's
really
what I mean.
procrastinate on it. I in the gym, I have this like motivation of like all my best sessions have come from just doing it. You know those sessions where you go and you're like, sorry, just put it into perspective because I know everybody has a session.
Go for it.
Where you literally go and you're like, I'm not in the mood, can't be bothered, work's been crap. You go, you think, what's going on? Boom, PR. You're like, okay, got this one. PR. What? Never PR? Oh, all right, let me just try this. PR. You're like, what on earth is going on? And then like no one's around to see it either. You haven't filmed any of it. So you're like, great, I'm gonna have to just write this down. I hope everyone believes me. Like, it's literally how it works. Like, but it's good. It's those sessions are some of the best, really. That's what most of my best sessions have come from anyway. So
April 29th, the night before the show. How does that feel?
Oh, incredible. So the night before, we travelled down to... Where did I even compete?
Was it High Wycombe?
High Wycombe.
Yeah, it was High Wycombe. That's a good
It's,
job I was there, wasn't it?
it's such a random place though, isn't it?
They're always in like random. I went to one in like Lincoln, so
Oh,
random. Yeah, it's really random. I don't know what's in Lincoln, but
We travelled down, I got my first layer of tan, and then we were all staying in the same hotel, me and the other girls that I was competing with, and we were just sat there chatting, all excited, and I had my first glass of wine.
Yes, there's a picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll put it on screen now. Yeah.
put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Where's it below?
That
Click
felt-
on Amy's face to subscribe.
And that was amazing. I actually felt quite drunk off it, and
imagine.
I was very grateful that I could have. We had a steak, like half a steak and rice, and because you've not been eating anything, the previous days I was eating chicken and cucumber in like tiny bits. That was all I was allowed to have.
Oh my God.
So that was like, this is delicious. This is the best meal I've ever had. So, and then I got into bed and I couldn't sleep. I was so excited, but it was just, it's the best feeling.
Do you think like afterwards you feel like you appreciated food and had a bit more respect for food after?
No.
You just got worse. No, I just wonder because like, you know, you said about that steak and you were like, oh my God, it's so good, like as if this is what I'm eating. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
But then, like, do you feel like at that time, like you felt like, no, he's just like, I need to eat like this more often. Sounds good, yeah.
It's really interesting you say that actually, because my relationship with food now compared to what it was a year ago is completely different. So I would love like a takeaway, or I would love to go and buy a load of donuts, or to have a chocolate bar, or to do this and to do that. But now I can quite easily not crave or bother with any of it. It doesn't bother me at all. And I see like a lot of my friends are the same. They'll just have like a bag of crisps on the sofa, or they'll have a beer in their hand or whatever. And it's just, my relationship's so different with food now. And by the sounds of it, yours is as well.
Slightly.
I mean,
It
you
definitely is different.
You can snack, and I mean, I still eat the chocolate and the crisps and stuff, but just not in the quantity that I did, and I can go longer without. Would you say that that's the same with you, or?
So, a lot of competitors will say this as well. After you've been in a strict diet for months, you restrict, and then you have a little bit of that food that you want after. So after combo, I had like pizza and a lot of chocolate and rubbish, and you want it more and more and more, and you just keep craving it.
It's a diet reverse, isn't it?
It's like it's because you've been restricted for so long. So that's when I was talking about the binge restrict cycle. A lot of competitors suffer with that after. It's not like you don't appreciate food as much, I don't think, because you just want to shove as much in your mouth as you can.
It's possible, yeah.
That's why coaches will put a reverse diet in, where you can have little bits after, but I did not stick to my reverse. I slightly regret it because I put on a lot of weight really quickly, but also I got healthier quickly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Have you guys heard of like yo-yo dieting? That's
Yeah.
like a massive thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a massive
massive.
thing, yeah.
And this might be a bit controversial, but sometimes I think bodybuilders, you want to compete again because you want to go back to that place of being lean. It's almost like you love the extremes of restricting and then just having whatever you want and not even really thinking about what you're having. There's definitely a lot of bodybuilders that have a good balance in their off season, but the restrict and then the almost have whatever you want, like no structure, you like the extremes.
I do this when I go to Florida. Sounds really weird, but because the American food is so like fatty and high, when I go to Florida, I do like I suppose people would call it a mini cut, but I diet for like like about 12 weeks. 12 weeks before I go, I do a really like strict diet where I just completely cut out everything, because I know when I get there, like if I don't cut some of the weight out, I'm going to put a lot of the weight back on. And you know, people always do it like mini cuts for holiday or whatever, going to IB for a lads trip or whatever. Girls do it as well, but I think it's really really key to think about a goal, have that goal, and achieve that goal when you get there, but then also to know that you've rewarded yourself by enjoying life and not forgetting to, because a lot of people forget this. Just enjoy life, enjoy the food. You can still have good food, you can still eat relatively clean and maintain a physique. You just have to be really, really kind of like smart with your choices, I guess. It's really, really smart with your choices. Yeah, you can go to Nando's, you can have a salad, you can have grilled chicken, it can be overly seasoned and overly salted, which it can be, but if that's the worst of what you're eating, instead of having the chips, which is what you normally would have, well, who cares? Who cares?
Then finally, April 30th, show day, the day you've been working for the last year, all the sacrifices and the mindset you've had for that year, all down to this one day. Did you ever feel overwhelmed?
Massively.
Yeah.
There was one point, we were all in this room ready to go on stage. It's a very long day. So you get there at like 8 o'clock in the morning and the show's on till like 10 p.m. at night. And I hadn't even gone out and seen the stage because I was having my hair and makeup done. So one of my coaches was like, come on, like, I'll take you so we can go look at other people competing. And I just sat down and I just burst into tears. I don't know if it was because I was scared or I was like, I'm here, I can't believe I got here. But it's very overwhelming. I did a lot of crying on that day. And then I was just kind of sat in a bubble, and all the other girls, they'd know me as this really chatty, bubbly girl. They kept asking me, like, are you okay? I just wanted to be on my own and just sit there. After I'd been on stage, it was a massive relief though. I came up to all my family and Kris and Matilda and I felt amazing after that. So the kind of overwhelm went for a bit, and then when I didn't place, it all came back again. And I was like heartbroken.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were really sad, weren't you?
But
I was literally pushing her, going, "What on earth are you going on about, mate? You've done amazing. Like you've done absolutely phenomenal." But you know what? I get it, because the reason you start out isn't to necessarily place. You work so hard and you get there, you realise that you're achieving a really, really good physique. You know that you can actually really push some of these people out the way, not in a nasty way, but in the right way, that you like, you know, you've worked just as hard as they have. Everybody on that stage deserves to be there. Everybody deserves to be there. That's the point of it. But when you're there, you're like, oh wait, I am still in the competition and I still want to win. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to be there and you want to win at something, if it's the last resort, that's how you feel. So obviously for you, I get it. Like I can see why you're upset, but I still will push you though for crying. So I think it's silly because you've done so good. So
I know you mentioned it earlier on when we were going through the quickfire round, but when you mentioned when you went on stage and how nervous you were, what was that feeling like?
Terrifying.
Could you compare it to anything else, or is it nothing that you've ever experienced?
Nothing that I've ever experienced, because it was very much in the moment. It was very short. It was that, how long are you on stage for? A minute. I've never been on stage before.
Yeah.
So it was a big audience as well. It was a big place.
Yeah.
To the point where I did actually walk the wrong way, and I felt like I was in survival mode. I couldn't think normally. I'd been practicing this routine over and over again, and then I turned the wrong way, walked the complete opposite direction, and then after that I was like, oh, I've ballsed it up. But it was fine in the end. I think if I do it again, I'll be a lot more confident because I've done it now.
And when you found out you didn't place, again, from our perspective, it just turning up, and the previous year, the lessons you've learned are way more valuable than placing. But what was the thought at that time? Immediately
after, I felt heartbroken. I didn't feel like I'd done enough. I kind of beat myself up very much for not being as confident as I should have been, and my physique, maybe it wasn't as good as the other girls. It's hard that you do criticise yourself a lot.
Yeah, self-sabotage.
Yeah. But in the days after, I realised if I would have placed, I wouldn't have been as motivated to want to be better. I would have been like, cool, done.
What's next?
Yeah. Now
it's the redemption arc now. It's to go back and to win the thing next time.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. not there to play next time. I mean, the first time nerves will get to you, but I think in your mindset, you're like different girl, different era. Heels are back out. Time to play. Yeah.
And if you were to do it again, we'll come on to the question in a minute if that is the case. But if you were to do it again, you are a different person to who you were when you started the last prep.
Yeah.
And I've not spoken to any of the bodybuilders, but I guarantee they would say the same thing, that they are every year they're completely different people.
Yeah.
And because of what you've learned the previous year, it won't make it any easier diet wise, or you're still going to have to, as you said, be a zombie and still do the cardio and then do the gym after. But you are going to learn a lot from last year, and I think you'll be in a much better position come show time, whenever that might be. Just to end off this section, we had a conversation about this yesterday. Did you ever get imposter syndrome when you were on stage or when you were seeing the other girls? So what I mean by that is, with me, I sometimes, when I'm doing something, feel like I don't belong here. I feel like I'm not, like everyone else is better than me, and that I'm almost an imposter in doing what it is that I'm doing. Did you ever feel like that?
I can't say I did. I maybe at the start of prep, I kind of would compare myself to the other girls.
Yeah.
But then I was massively in our group chat, like, this is you versus you. And I try to keep that mindset as much as possible. So I never felt like I shouldn't be there, or everyone deserves to be there. And we've all worked hard for it. So I don't think so, no.
Okay. Well, Amy, thank you very much for coming on. It's really, really appreciated. As I said to you at the start, I think we're both we both admire what you've done in the past year and what the journey you've been on. And I think just following it on Instagram, looking at the stories, and I said with Kris seeing you go in the morning, then you also go in the evening as well, and you've got work around you and all the relationships you try to maintain as well around it. I think it's a massive credit to you for getting through it, and for also what you've learned along the way as well. And if you did ever want to do it again, then you'll be a completely different person going into next time, and I'm sure you'll smash it next time.
It'd be great to get you back on 10 to 8 weeks out, because you prior is, like you said, you were like you're in the kind of trenches as such, as you called it. Be nice to see you back on the pod 10 to 8 weeks out, giving us completely different.
Not gonna happen.
Give someone in this place, give me an Easter egg now.
I don't think I would have been able to hold a conversation.
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. But thank you so much for having me. I feel really honoured that you've asked me to come on.
We do as well.
No, definitely. Well, we were saying, weren't we, within the first week or so that we put out, that we'd love to get Amy on because of what she's been through. You should be really proud of yourself for it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But to end off, Kris, do you want to ask the final question?
I thought you were going to do the tradition.
No, go for it.
Okay, so what does 2024 look like for Amy?
Okay, so this year I've got a few different things going on. My first is the marathon, half marathon in March. I'm really excited for that. I think it's a good goal to stop me from bodybuilding this year. It's a distractor.
Yeah, good.
But I love running. It makes you feel alive. Have you ever ran?
I ran a lot through my life, so I actually hate running now. And I hold my hands up. I play rugby. I've got a game tomorrow. I put my hand up. I run when I play rugby, but I'm now at a point where I have to be doing something to run. I can't just go like point A, point C, point D. I can't like run in the block. Gone past that. After like years of like playing football and rugby, like from like 6 to like the age I am now, all you do is run. So I've fallen out of the relationship with it. I used to go track running as well. My cousin was like a really good track runner, so she was like trying to do the Olympics for Jamaica. And we used to go track running all the time, and it just eventually after a while you just get sick of it. So yeah. But I don't not love running. I just have to have something I'm running for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Need a goal.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm okay with running. I think it's okay. I've got like nice running shoes.
Are they clean? Are they clean running shoes? So you don't go outside.
They are now. But I do like running. It's good for like walking, running, whatever. It's good for the mind, isn't it? But it's difficult because it's hard. It's very hard. It's just what, when you're out of breath and it's like, I could stop, but you know, really you should keep going. And it's just having that, isn't it? Having that.
See, walking's a different ballgame. I can walk for because I when I was living in London, I used to do like. So,
but Amy, towards the end of every podcast, we do have a tradition where the guest will read out a quote that's helped them through. It could be just a part of their life, or it could be something they've referred to when they were going through a difficult stage. But the listeners can interpret it however they want to. But what is your quote, and what did that quote mean to you?
Okay. Can I get it on my phone?
Of course, go for it.
So, this is by Louise Hay, and it says, "You've been criticising yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." I love this very much because, especially when it comes to goals, if you have a goal and you're like, I can't do this, I'm rubbish, I'm not good enough, I look this way, I don't think it's a good motivator to achieve that. But if you're like, I'm really proud of you for starting this, you are good enough, you tell yourself you're good enough, and then it will make you do it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think you can achieve anything from self-loathing or hatred.
Yeah, I think you have to be at peace with it.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like, I'm at peace with this. That's cool. I've got this. Sick quote. Say it again. Sorry, no, it's really good. Say it again. I just want to hear it again.
So, you've been criticising yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens.
Big mate. I think I took a lot from that.
It's okay, Kris.
No, you have a crying in the corner. Someone get this guy an Easter egg.
But Amy, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
And we're done.
That's it. Happy days.
There we go.
Wow.
Did you enjoy it?
I found that tough. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good.
I found it tough. Some of the answers I was like, oh, I don't know what to say.